focus, determination, passion, stamina, and the will to win. The end result, the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Motorsports brings you the Ricmotech Sports Car Series, brought to you by Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment, and by Proforma, Elite Texas Graphics, live Mondays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
After an exciting opening to the season on the west coast of the United States of America, we head all the way to Northern Europe and to the historical course of Circuit Park Zandvoort. Here we welcome you to Season 15, Round 2 of the Ricmotech Sports Car Series, presented by Proforma Elite Texas Graphics, of course, and Extreme Motorsports. All coverage today on Apex Racing TV. Jonathan Simon in the commentary booth, Tyler Maxson alongside me, and in production. Tyler, this is very similar to Laguna Seca just a week ago, except we're on an entire different continent.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. This is a very difficult track to pass at, just like Laguna Seca. It should provide some excellent racing again. The Mustang field just got done with qualifying, and it's a little bit more separated out than we've seen in past rounds. Aeronom with the pole in that one, and Kevin Ford in second. But the ST field's going to be just as close as always, and we should see some awesome racing all the way through that field. And hopefully we see some awesome racing as well, like we did last time in the GS field. So it should be another great race.
The screen, it's a 4.25 kilometer circuit. That's about 2.6 miles, depending on your units of choice. We're going to have two classes of cars as usual, our Mustangs and our MX-5. So if you're new to the series, welcome along to the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series for Season 15. Cold track temps, cloudy skies up above for the moment, and that's going to mean this track is going to be ever grippy as we're currently in qualifying here, Tyler, and it means we're going to get some insanely quick lap times.
Yeah, we should get some insanely quick lap times here tonight. We should have an amazing 60-minute race here in the Netherlands. We're a long way away from Laguna Seca, but we should have some incredible racing no matter what continent we're on. And I think we actually head to Mount Panorama next, so this should be absolutely an insane schedule. I do love the schedule. Actually, speaking of the schedule, let's try and get that up. So this is the, from what I understand, the next two rounds that we're having for the different Ricmotech series. And next round out will be the GT Challenge Series in Mid-Ohio. Then we're actually going to Barber Motorsports Park for the Sports Car Series next time. So we're not going to Mount Panorama in Bathurst in Australia, but we should be going there at some point during the season.
That'll be in 2 weeks.
But again, still be good.
A couple of weeks' time, so even I was getting too excited for that. I was hoping it was next week, but Barber is no less of a challenge. That Mount Panorama race will be 90 minutes, but for now we focus on this Circuit Park Zandvoort in the Netherlands, and it was being laser scanned for quite a while here in iRacing, and our own Kevin Ford gives us today's track guide.
Welcome, everyone, to Circuit Park Zandvoort. Great to have you with us as we provide you your track guide in the Ford Mustang. And today we come to you from Northern Holland, just west of Amsterdam, to a track that sits just a couple hundred yards from the beaches of the North Sea. This course was constructed right after World War II and was designed by 1927 Le Mans winner Sammy Davis. The course was inaugurated on August 7, 1948, and has been the home of many motorsports events over the the years and exciting finishes like Niki Lauda's Formula One victory in 1974. Let's begin our track guide around this 2.67-mile course through the sand dunes of Zandvoort. You'll notice as we're approaching our start-finish line here, the pit entry to the right, the main and only grandstands to our left here at Zandvoort. You'll notice as we come down into turn 1 here, you can imagine getting down into this corner at the start of a race, 2-3 cars wide. The track definitely narrows coming out of 1 and up into turn 2. Coming around 2 here, you'll notice that it really gets skinny through here. Down into turn 3, drivers will be down tight on the brakes, trying to get that rotation to come back up the hill here to get a lot of speed and momentum down through one of the fastest sections in the road course, down into the 4-5 S's. Coming around turns 4, we're going to go back up the hill to the highest elevation changes here at Zandvoort, up to turn 5, down into my favorite section, turn 6, down into the belly of the apex. Drivers will get back to the floor, get a fast run up over the hill as we approach down into turn 7. Just a fast little right here. You can see the sand that's starting to blow across the track here. Down into turn 8. Track gets nice and wide through this section here, and there again are the high dunes and berms to the left and right around the course. Fans will pack in there like sardines to watch these races to get up nice and close to the action. As we come out of 9 back there, we head down to the only chicane on the course here at Zandvoort. Turns 10 and 11. This is a hard braking right-hander. Down into turn 11 here to the left, drivers will let the car roll into that apex, get a nice fast run up off the exit to the final 2 turns on the course, turns 12 and 13. Fast right-handers coming through 12 want to get a good run out of there as we approach 13. Even faster, wide, long sweeper. Exciting part of the course here. As drivers come out of that final turn, they'll be looking to overtake going down into turn 1. There's a lap for you at Circuit Park Zandvoort. We appreciate you being with us today.
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV for coverage of round 2 for season 15 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series. We're currently in the closing stages of qualifying, which is presented by Performer Elite Texas Graphics. Now, this afternoon, Tyler, our pit stop windows, we're expecting these drivers to pit a little earlier than the halfway mark as the championship standings are up on screen. The Mustang class is 28 minutes into the race. So we're expecting the pit window to open about 23 minutes into the race, but it's definitely going to be a one-stop.
Yeah, so that's actually a pretty early pit window from what we've seen out of the different races. I think last time they were at nearly the 30-minute window for pits, so you know that they're not using a whole lot of fuel here as far as fuel usage. We're expecting about 1 minute 50-second lap times out of the Mustangs, about 1 minute 55-second lap times out of the Mazdas here in the different classes. So early pit windows means that we should see a lot of variety in strategy, maybe drivers going for that longer strategy and then come into the pits a bit later, or going for that short strategy and really running that long stint at the end. So it'll be interesting to see how the drivers throw up strategy and how they decide they want to do different things with the strategy throughout the race. It should be a good little dynamic to watch out for in this one.
And here are the championship standings up on screen. We're going to do it a little bit different and have a look at ST to begin this time round. Robert Hartley took victory at Laguna Seca ahead of David Alessandrini. Now, DJ and Mr. Hartley were in a nice little scrap for the entire event there, Tyler. And despite them being separated by 5 points, I don't think they were separated by inches at Laguna Seca.
Yeah, they definitely weren't. They were so close there, and that just shows the difference between winning and finishing second, and also the bonus points that you can get. I mean, just the difference between finishing first and second is 3 points. Then Hartley, I believe, had 2 bonus points from that race. So he must have led a lap, obviously, and was the top qualifier. So good for Robert Hartley there to get a nice little championship lead, but it's going to be really difficult in this competitive MX-5 field to hold that the entire time, considering he hasn't even set a lap yet in qualifying. He is currently last.
Yeah, so that's going to be a tough one. And we will look at the grid in a couple of minutes' time. The driver's still in the closing stages of qualifying. Here are the championship standings for your GS class in the Ford Mustangs. Now, this is the ironic one between Aeronom and Kevin Ford. Yet this race seemed to be over from lap 3 almost, when Aeronom, didn't have the best of starts, made his way back up into P1, and then after that, he was just unstoppable.
Yeah, he really was, and we know how fast Aeronam is. And I actually spoke to Kevin Ford just a little bit earlier. He said that this is going to be a tough race for him. Tyler Schifflin and Clint Vigas are very fast here. He said, and Aeronam is just so fast that it's going to be really difficult for him to keep up with them, and he's going to have a lot of competition from those drivers behind him. So it should be a good little battle there for second or third on back in your GS class, but from what he tells me, Aeronam is going to be pretty much unstoppable here today, and I think that we may see him do exactly what he did in Laguna Seca and really pull a gap out in that GS field.
So it's going to be tight heading into this second round. And we'll see whether the likes of Steve Daniel, Laurie Koskinen behind in 6th and 7th are able to claim some good points to up the order. This is your Mustang Open class. It's Elvin Rankin in the first position. Now your Open is your developing field in each class. Sorry, Mustang, did I say? I mean MX-5, excuse me. And Elvis Rankin, we know, only 12 years old, Tyler, and he has a nifty little racing career up and coming for him.
Yeah, he does. So that is something that I actually never noticed about the drivers, and it's so awesome to get everything from the league organizers about these different drivers. It's very impressive for him to be out there doing what he's doing at such a young age. And I think Kevin told me that he joined the championship at 11 years old. And I think he won the first race he came out, so that's pretty impressive for a driver of that age. But he's currently leading the championship, and in so far at least is got a good start off to his season, and hopefully he can keep that rolling all the way through.
Sim racing when I was 11, so I know what Elvis is suffering with as we look through the GS Open class at the moment. Jez Coleman with a brilliant lead there, only by 1 point ahead of Derek Holland, though, and Lucas Ford in third. Cameron Martineau behind in sixth, new to the series. We'll talk about him in just a few moments' time. But yeah, for Albus Rankin, I remember when I first joined sim racing, it can become very overwhelming as a young man.
Yeah, it definitely can be, and it's so difficult to get into this and really get to a competitive level. But it seems that he is really, really stepped up to the plate and trying to do practice for everything, and he's done it very, very well. And I've noticed him in the past, and he's definitely a really up and coming driver and a hot shot, I think, in my opinion, to win this championship.
So let's take a look at your grid for today's event as we flick over to this 60-minute race here this afternoon. For your Mustangs, it's Aeronom, champion of champions. He will start from the first position in our rolling start today. We're going to hold a full pace lap here at Zandvoort. It's a very short lap, of course. Then Kevin Ford joins him on the front row. Kevin Ford, a second front row for the season. Schiffler and Viger seem to be third and fourth quickest in this series. Qualify third and fourth this time round, with Jeff Jacobs for Street Survival starting right behind. Russ Ruddock for Flying Tortoise Motorsport, not any less slow as a tortoise, starting from the third row. And you can see down the order some other notable names. Travis Davis for TD's Tree Racing. Cameron Martineau, new to the series. This is his first race in the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series, but he's not any less inexperienced in that Mustang. He's driven this car for quite a while, and so he'll be looking to get accustomed to his competitors here on that 4th, 5th, and 6th row starting alongside him. So that is your grid for your Mustang class. Now remember, the lighter colored shade of blue or green is our darker colored is our pro class or overall class, if that makes sense. Travis Schwenke will start from first in the rolling start alongside Mike Dam. Brilliant qualifying performance from Schwenke, who did not qualify well at all at Laguna Seca. And then looking down the field now, Eric Violet, 15th. Elvis Rankin, 16th. No sight of Alessandrini or here at the front of the field. Greg Mack, 21st. Down the back end of the order, and that's going to be a challenge for him, Tyler, for today's event. Of course, Alessandrini will take this as a drop round, but for Hartley, I'm not sure what went wrong in qualifying.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. He never set a lap in qualifying, though, so that's going to be big for his championship. We know how quick Robert Hartley is, though. He should be able to get his way up through the field rather quickly, and that should be an absolutely awesome on board to watch. I think that's actually what we may do here for the start at some point, is jump to an onboard, because he is going to be passing cars left, right, and center at this very, very tight Zandvoort circuit. And this should be an absolutely awesome battle to watch. But like you said, Travis Schwenke leads the field. He didn't have a good qualifying in Laguna Seca. Now, though, he has come back for redemption at Zandvoort. We know that Laguna Seca historically has not been the greatest track for Travis Schwenke. So hopefully he can turn his fortunes around and really be able to make up some ground in the championship and get himself prepared for that last bit of the championship. Because you know, just as well as I do, that you don't want to go into a later stage of the championship and be on the back foot. You want to be the one up in the lead of the championship, or at least near it. You don't want to have to be getting that last-minute points in order to try and get the championship in the last round.
Now, whilst you were discussing that, we're reading a comment from Ryan Walker on the YouTube chat saying that Aeronoms caught his hand in his wheel earlier today and actually broke his pinky. So the fact that he's racing, I really hope that's not true. But the fact that he's racing is incredible if it is indeed true. And that can be, I mean, I've hardly heard of sim racing injuries, Tyler, apart from maybe a sprained ankle, but that wasn't caused by sim racing.
Yeah, and that's, I really agree with you. I really hope that it isn't true. But if he is racing with a broken pinky, then that just shows his dedication to the league. Not only is it nearly, probably, I think, past midnight where he is from, but also he would be racing with a broken pinky. And if that is true, then that is incredible, and that really shows his dedication to the league. But I really sincerely hope that that isn't true. But nonetheless, if it is, then it hasn't affected his pace whatsoever, because he was on pole by about 0.6 of a second, I think almost 0.7 of a second. So even if he does have a broken pinky, that's still really impressive pace to be putting in.
He's doing incredibly well as Aeronom, championship leader and multiple-time champion in the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series. We're also hearing word that Jennifer McDonald, who was a Mustang runner in the series, will unfortunately not be able to join the rest of the season for the Sports Car Series. So unfortunate news there, Tyler. But for Jennifer, she will be joining the GT Challenge, and we know one of the next rounds is on next week.
Yeah, I did talk to Kevin about that as well. He said that she's currently going through a move, so not able to compete in the sports car series. And he kind of gave me the rundown on why currently the GS field is not where they would like it. I think it's not where the GS field deserves to be. I think that the GS field is amazing racing when there's a lot of cars out there. And we only are down to 12 this season, but hopefully that entry list will get back up for next season. And he also said possibly some changes coming in 2020 for that as well. So it should be an awesome championship to continue to watch, and hopefully that still gets some light going into next season, and all the drivers really start to pick back up on that GS field. As much as I love to see the MX-5 field full, I would love it even more to see that GS field full again.
The drivers have headed through the Audi S, and then now through turns 14 and 15. 60 minutes of racing action soon enough here for round 2, season 15 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series, presented by Performa Elite Texas Graphics. All coverage today on Apex Racing TV. Jonathan Simon in the commentary booth, Tyler Maxson alongside me. 60 minutes of racing coming up. Aeronom to begin this race from pole position, and from Zandvoort, we go green.
Aeronom is going to lead him down into turn 1. Kevin Ford around the outside. Is he going to be able to do it? Tyler Shiflett pushing Aeronom down into turn 1. He backs off, though. And it will be Kevin Ford and Aeronom side by side. Ford will slot into line. Nom continues to lead.
Zandvoort of turn 1, and now through this twisty first sector. Turns 2, 3, and 4. The hairpin of turn 4 now. The left-hander is a tough one. You can see the MX-5s in the background beginning their event, and it's Travis Schwenke screaming away in the lead. But let's see if Mike Dam can use that camber on the outside to ease him into the corner. It's going to be a tough one, but Mike Dam finds himself remaining in second. He's still alongside Schwenke here, actually, for the first position, but no, has to back off into 3 and 4.
Yeah, Mike Dam having to back off down to 3 and 4. Look at Elvis Rankin now down the inside of Eric Violet. Rankin, the open driver, up into 3rd place right now. They're still side by side though. Jim List, Eric Violet, not backing out of this one. He still wants 3rd position, and it looks like they will continue side by side even through the very fast, tight, twisty sections. Now down into the very banked right-hander here, and Rankin will slot into line.
Between Violet and Rankin here on the opening lap as they head through the middle sector. Zandvoort is so wide through this middle sector. We flick back towards Robert Hartley here, who's had a decent getaway. He's made up a few positions, Tyler. Let's ride on board with him. But look at all the traffic he's going to have to maneuver his way around.
And this is exactly why I wanted it on board here with Robert Hartley. He is doing a great job here dealing through traffic, and he knows he's got to get through it quickly because he knows the front 3 will really start to pull away if he doesn't, and he's got to try Travis Schwenke if he wants a chance at not losing the lead of the championship. But he has 60 minutes to do so, so he doesn't have to worry about getting it too quickly, but he definitely wants to make sure that he gets himself up there.
Yeah, now Aaron Om is comfortably in the lead ahead of Kevin Ford. Look at the battle for first here. Stretch out exponentially between 1st and 7th there. Get away from both fields, which is good to see. That might be the cleanest start in the Sports Car Series history. Jesus.
I think it may be. I did not see not one driver spun around then on the opening lap, which is very, very impressive to me that these drivers keep it that clean. But Aeronam starting to stretch his lead away already. Kevin Ford doing everything he can in the Ricmotech Motorsports car. Tyler Shiflett is just there behind him. He's not too far back, so definitely keep an eye on Shiflett to make himself right up in that 2nd place battle and possibly challenge Kevin Ford. And as well, here is Clinton Vigas in the Meth Motorsports cars. He gets a little sideways actually on the exit, does Clinton Vigas, and he will have to lose a little bit of momentum then to Tyler Shiflett in a little bit of time as they head up the hill.
It's going to be a close one here. Vigas now has been in that 4th position. He's been 4th fastest, hasn't he, Tyler, in this Mustang class for quite a while, and this can be a little bit personal now between himself and Shiflett. He wants to get ahead of Tyler for sure, who's not any less quicker or slower than Clint Vigas. They always seem to finish close to each other when they cross the line and receive the checkered flag, but for now, Vigas has got his work cut out for him.
Yeah, he's definitely got his work cut out for him. Now we jump back here to look at Robert Hartley, who currently right now is starting to close up to Mike Taylor. He's just got by Dimitra Guzva in the Morello Club racing car. So the open driver, Hartley, really starting to move his way up through the field of these drivers, and then he'll start to get into some of the faster drivers just ahead of him. And he'll get up into his pro class drivers as well. So you can see there is Travis Schwenke. And the overlay right now having a little bit of issues, so we'll just kind of jump back here to Aeronam and see if we can't get the positions back up to date for you there. So give us just a moment while that kind of sorts itself back out. But Aeronam, your leader in GS, he's got a 9/10 of a second lead over Kevin Ford, and then it's Tyler Shiflett still in 3rd.
You saw race control at the bottom of the screen, and that's a new feature we'll have this season for Season 15 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series. And an incident involving Lewis Loper and Mitchell Peak in 3 and number 56 MX-5s. Entering the pit lane is Lewis there. This is post-incident, unfortunately, but Tyler's trying to find it now. But those two were in a big incident there, as you can see, Tyler, and both of them down the order, and it looks like their race is pretty much done.
I think I'm getting closer to this incident, so give me just a minute here and I will be able to find it. We'll just have to quickly kind of sort through some replays until we can find it. And that is why our overlay glitched out. Because these two drivers had that incident and it moved them around where they were on the track. So that explains why the incident happened.
To see that left front brake glowing on Aeronom's car. And you'll be thinking those brakes are running a little bit too hot. Here's a replay on screen. So this is back to the peak incident with Lewis Loper and number 73. Now what's going to happen here? Oh, Lewis has gone. Oh, geez, that's a hefty incident. They almost missed the tire barrier too. That in the real world, I hope it's extended by a little bit, but that was, I think Lewis just seemed to get a little bit too hot into the corner.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he just got a bit too hot up into there, and then, and it was just kind of an erasing incident, in my opinion there, but it is up to the stewards to see what they decide overall in the incident, but both drivers, right now at least, are out of this race. Yes, they are currently in the pit lane, and I think will be out of this race. John Allen is not in this race here today. So unfortunate issues there for John Allen. I don't think that was intentional that he's not in this race, considering he did set a qualifying time. But look at Robert Hartley. He's already up to 13th in class right now. So he is moving up very, very quickly indeed.
8 positions, as we can see, since the beginning of this rolling start. He's right behind by about 2.5 seconds to Dimitro up in head. So there's another incident under review right there between cars 66-3. I didn't catch the rest of the numbers there, Tyler. It flicked away before I read it. Within your MX-5 order, and that includes Robert Hartley under investigation. Wow.
So there's definitely some damage to the front of Robert Hartley's car. Let's see if we can get a replay here, or a little bit of an onboard. We can't get anything too great here. Let me try another camera. So you can see a bit of damage then to the front of Robert Hartley's car. I'm wondering what exactly happened with that, because I don't see anything on our little crash counter that would show that Robert Hartley has had some sort of incident, but maybe race control has seen something that we have not, so we'll have to definitely keep an eye on that one. So hopefully all is well then for Robert Hartley and the rest of the drivers involved in that, so that they don't lose too much time in this, because if Robert Hartley got a slowdown penalty or any sort of a drive-through at this point, then that would pretty much be race over. And look who's just gone fastest in your ST field.
54.6 there, purple of all drivers this race. Purple obviously meaning he was the quickest of everybody. But we're watching Tyler Schiffler in the 24. Now look at Vigas and Jacobs behind. Sandwich here. Now Vigas, obviously, teammate Tyler Schiffler in the Meh Motorsports car. But he'd want to just sort of finish ahead of his teammate for once, which would be nice for him. He's done it a couple times, but we know Schiffler is the quicker of the two. But Vigas right now is keeping him honest.
Yeah, he's definitely keeping him right there in his mirror. So right now, Schiffler just ahead of Vigas. And I wouldn't be surprised if Vigas possibly goes for a move on his teammate. If he can get the run, you can see Tyler Schiffler is all over the place ahead of him. He's got that tank slapper out of the corner. So will Clint Vigas send one down the inside? He will not. He'll just follow his teammate, but he'll get very close to the rear bumper indeed. So we'll see if they try anything silly here between the teammates, but I believe that they will keep it clean. Because I think that's the last thing that everyone wants to do, is to crash into your teammate and have a little bit of controversy within the team.
And wait a minute, Tyler, you saw at the bottom of the screen, there was a warning handed out to Robert Hartley and Edgar Sanchinelli for contact they made in the earlier laps. So that is a fresh sigh of relief for Robert Hartley, who would have, his progress in this race would have been halted had he received any form of penalty. He's now 1 second behind of your MX-5s. This is Schwenke up close to Mike Dam and Eric Violet. Now, Tyler, is the draft always at a track like Zandvoort, which is so tight, or is there any other different key to unlock to being quick around this place?
Really, you're not going to gain much of a draft here. You know, it is such a tight circuit that any draft that you will gain will make a big difference. But you're going to want to maximize cornering speed here, and that goes for both your ST cars and your GS cars. You want to have the most cornering speed that you possibly can, and really make sure that you can get through the corners well, because you're not going to be able to make up that time in the draft. Maybe like you could say at Road America, where you can pretty much fully rely on the draft to make your lap times and really not have to get that great of the setup through the tight twisty stuff. But here the setup shows more than the draft, so it is very tight and very technical. So this is definitely a track where you want to have your car on point.
Certainly is. Mike Dam was still watching in that Crypto-G Orange racing car. I don't see any of Mike Dam's teammates racing in the MX-5 class today. I think he's back out on his own again, but hey, he's very close to Travis Schwenke. Now, what a difference 1 week makes for Travis Schwenke, Tyler. Battling for the win overall in your MX-5 class for the STs. I mean, what did he qualify? I think it was was it 7th last week? 6th, 7th, was on the 3rd or 4th row, and it just really, I mean, it didn't help him from lap 1.
No, it really didn't. I don't think that Laguna Seca was the track for Travis Schwenke. He always performs well at these types of racetracks. These super tight and twisty racetracks is where Travis Schwenke always seems to do good. I've never seen Travis Schwenke not do good at a track like here at Zandvoort, or the best example for me was Mount Panorama. He was so fast there the last time we went, so it just seems that Laguna Seca, I don't think, suits his driving style quite the way that Zandvoort does, and how it is so tight and so twisty and technical, whereas Laguna Seca, let's be honest, has a lot of sweeping fast corners, and is really, as much as it is so much like Zandvoort, is really nothing like Zandvoort.
Oh, and boy, I love Zandvoort as well. What can I say? Look at the camber and then the corner. This is one of those racetracks, like I was doing testing at Phillip Island the other week, on iRacing, of course, and if you head into like turn 2 there, you have to hug the inside to be quicker. You don't take a traditional racing line, and you could say the same for Zandvoort. You know, look at a lot of these corners. It's all about the camber with your car, because as we know, Tyler, in the MX-5, it's really like, I mean, you have to drive it like a go-kart, carry as much momentum as possible.
Yeah, you really do. And look at Elvis Rankin right now. He wants to get by Eric Violet. He feels as if he is getting held up behind Violet as he looked for a move there. But I think right now he's just going to stick up behind Violet. He knows Violet is quick. He's definitely been a very quick driver in the past. And Elvis Rankin really seems to have this place figured out. And he's really, really quick here. I honestly don't want to count this guy out for an overall win tonight, especially if Travis Schwenke and Mike Dam start to have a bit of contact come the end of the race.
I remember when we used to speak about Sebastian Job, or Job, as he's correctly asked everybody in the world to pronounce it. And he was, I think, 15, 16 years old in the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series, and we're thinking, this guy's going to be one of the best in the world in the future. Well, now he drives in the Red Bull Racing esports team for Elvis Rankin, starting off in Lil King Racing. He's got a nice little career for himself out in the real world. In sim racing, I can't wait to see what this guy is going to look like in 10 years' time.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of potential in someone this young, and this is one of the things that is so great about sim racing. You don't have to have a huge budget to go out and race, and kids, even down to about 12 and 13 years old, are able to get on iRacing, get experienced in all these cars, and go to great places like the World Championship Series that iRacing offers, because they have so many of them, and really a World Championship, I think, for every avenue, at least one, in every discipline there is. So that is really, really great to see that iRacing gives those kind of opportunities to all the different kids out there, and really anyone out there in the world that wants to get on and race cars. And you can do this any time of day, and you can do as many laps as you want to do in a single sitting. And they also have endurance racing and full-blown NASCAR races, so they really have something for everyone.
Yeah, I like that. That's the modern day, isn't it, for you? Well, the pit windows are about to open. Now, for your MX-5s that we're watching on screen, they're expected to pit in about 8 minutes' time at the earliest. But we've always seen in the past, Tyler, that somebody will come in around this mark, have a long race, as we watch Steve Daniel on screen, and that draft, but they get all the clear air and they get out of the traffic, which might be important at Zandvoort in comparison to another racetrack.
Yeah, it definitely may be important to get that clean air, especially if you feel as if you're getting held up behind the driver ahead of you. Maybe in the case of a driver like Elvis Rankin, maybe he feels that he's getting held up by Eric Violet as Jordy Fike. Look at this battle here. Jordy Fike and Jim List side by side into the left-hander, sorry.
Looking close, isn't it, between List and Fike here? Jordy Fike. And in this narrow racetrack as Jim List in the 61 there will etch ahead of Jordy Fike. But have a look at Jacob Beasley behind. Blue rims this time around. He's fourth in line in this train. Beasley now behind Fike. Peyton up close to List. Peyton makes his way through at the same time. Can Peyton make up 2 spaces here?
He's definitely got the pace to it. Looks like Peyton actually is the fastest of these drivers that he's going through right now. So if he can get to the head of this train, then that would be good for him. But I don't think he's going to try anything risky here on his teammate, because he doesn't want to make contact with his teammate, lose him a lot of positions, because you can see how long this train is. And look at who's right there in the middle of it, Robert Hartley. He needs to get himself up to the head of this train because they've already gotten 6 seconds on this train. Has the lead 4. And there goes Jordy Fike. He's missed the braking zone, it appears, and he has lost a lot of time.
This is a mad scrambling train here. Only 15 minutes into the race. Where did this come from? Hartley's up in a 7th Pro class. There's Robert Hartley in that Excite racing car, and that MX-5 is a little damaged from earlier incidents. Now we cycle through to Jim List and David Payton. Those two trying to work together here. The two D2D Esports teammates. Hartley trying to make his way up the inside here of Chris Thorman. And that will separate one of the D2D Esports cars from the other two ahead. But they're still going to be racing here. No argy-bargy between the two. And have a look at that now. List, Payton, Thorman. 3 D2D Esports cars together. And Thorman, with a bit of theatrics there on the gravel, luckily keeps that car now back on the tarmac.
And look at Hartley down the inside now. This is a very difficult place to do it. He has to put 2 wheels in the grass there to leave David Payton enough space. And look at that as he makes his way through. Chris Thorman slots up in behind Robert Hartley. And now Hartley can go to work on Payton and List ahead.
I'm not sure where all this action came from. It seemed to be a pretty stagnant opening few laps. And now even in the Mustangs, we're starting to kick off some racy action here. Russ Ruddock, Steve Daniel behind as well. Davis behind them. And it's very odd to pass in the first sector. But you never know here. Here's Travis Davis for TD's Tree Racing. Widening the line. Steve Daniel ahead. But you see what happens there, Tyler. You try to widen the line. Take a traditional racing line. But you're not using the camber on the inside, which is not really that quick at Zandvoort.
Yeah, exactly. You really have to use the track's features to your advantage to gain as much time as possible, because a lot of the time there is no grip out there. That's where all the marbles go around the racetrack. So you're just in a bunch of marbles and junk out there, and you're not able to get the turn in and the bite that you need in those front tires to be able to gain that advantage that you really think that you should have by going that wide. But it doesn't seem to work here as he gets a bit sideways again. A lot of drivers seem to be lighting the tires up out of that very slow right-hander.
Yeah, Davis now. Oh, we're flicking back to the MX-5. Hartley into 5th in the Pro class. 6th overall. Oh, that was almost a bit of contact between himself and Payton in the 64. David Payton now. Oh, man, they're getting restless. seen much contact this race. It's been some thrilling racing.
Oh, but there's someone off. There was Jacob Beasley sideways behind, and just there for race control. Incident between 154 and car 9 is under review, so that is Jacob Beasley and Jordy Fike. But look at these two, still side by side. Peyton on the inside, Hartley on the outside. Hartley has to slot in line. Will he get the undercut, though, on Peyton?
Forming up here through the middle sector. Peyton, the Canadian. Oh, I was going to say, will he have to go defensive on his title rival of Robert Hartley? Able to cheer ahead of his teammate. Now, the funny thing is, your top 4, Key, Dam, Violet, and Rankin, are ahead of this bunch, and they're all nip and tuck up, really, as we approach the first pit stops of the day for both classes.
Yep, we should start seeing pit stops here very, very soon for each one of your classes. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Travis Schwenke stick with the traditional line. And look at this, Mike Dam side by side with Travis Schwenke. He's held station for so long in this race. He wants to go to the lead, and he does so. And there we go, Eric Violet looking as well, but he can't get anything done. Mike Dam, your new leader.
And with a brilliant move, he's finally disposed of Travis Schwenke, who started from pole. Mike Dam started on the front row with him, but this time Mike Dam finally into the lead. And this is a brilliant opportunity this race, Tyler, for Mike Dam to take his first victory of the season, to break away from the pack due to that draft.
It's definitely going to be tough, and you've also got to think this is going to have major implications for Robert Hartley in the championship. If they stay as they are, Mike Dam, I believe, would take over the lead in the championship, and Robert Hartley would be forced down to second. So that is very, very unfortunate for Hartley, having missing qualifying, and he's still, I think, is going to be his best finish that he could get tonight will be 5th place, which only awards 26 points.
Yes, that's going to be separation from 1st to 5th isn't that much, but still something at the end of the day, you know. The bonus points is what matters. Points, your pole position, you get a bonus points. That goes to Travis Schwenke and Aaron Nob this round. Class only, so not for your pro class. This is for the likes of Elvis, Rankin, and company. And for your lighter colored numbers on the overlay. And you get 1 bonus point for the most spots gained. I'm not sure. That's going to take a bit of test and calculations now, Tyler, but it's hard to see who in your open class has done that today. Not looking, are you? Don't look. It's going to take forever.
I haven't looked yet, but
okay,
I will
good.
try and get that in a few moments' time. But look at this battle here. We're got side by side, and it looks like this could be David Payton down the inside of 2 cars. He won't make it on the second, though, but he will get by his teammate, Jim List. And now he's trying to fight Robert Hartley, who has now worked his way to the lead of that train, and he's currently 9 seconds behind the lead overall train.
Nice little battle here. Hartley's just driven so well. He has the most spots gained this race, Hartley, but he's not an open class driver, so he won't receive that bonus point. Look at the pit stops at the bottom of the screen. Beasley, Guzma, Bobby Childs joining everybody else in a pit party right now. Beasley's been there for an eternity. MX-5's in the background. That's Lewis Loper and Mitchell Peak for Team Prep and Esport Racer Orange, respectively. Mike Dam, though, he's building an advantage here. Look, half a second ahead of Travis Schwenke.
Yeah, he's definitely building a little bit of a gap, and this is exactly what he wants in this race. He wants to be untouched. But right now, Schwenke is being able to benefit from the draft, the little draft that you can get around this place. He is benefiting from it, and he's closing right back up. But Mike Dam, through this technical section, starting to pull away again from Travis Schwenke. So Mike Dam really looking like he's going to have a chance to get his first race win here tonight.
You know what, Mike Dam? You've got a brilliant opportunity, as Tyler Maxton's just said. that pit phase. Any one of these leaders going to pit this time around. Let's have a look. He was getting ready to dive down low. And there's an incident at the bottom of the screen involving 2 and 67. That's in your Steve Daniels, the 67. 2 is Travis Davis. Now remember, these two were in a nice little battle. So this is at turn 1 now. Oh, don't tell me there's going to be contact, guys. You were racing so well this race. Oh, no. The 67 of Steve Daniel is down the order. And look at Beasley as well. Beasley had to take avoiding action behind.
Yeah, he really had to take avoiding action there. Actually, I think he even got tagged. I think he was the innocent bystander in that whole incident there. So let's just look at that one more time. Let's get it from a helicopter view. And let's see really what happened here. So you can see he tracks out. Ooh, he just turns himself. And then he comes back onto the track. And I think he just collects into the side of the number 154 of Jacob Beasley. So unfortunate for Beasley to have that little bit of damage. And really would be hampering his pace. Yeah, you can just see that little bit of damage. So much of an unfortunate incident for him. But it's what he has to do to win this race, and right now he's a long way from it. So really, he's just got to hope that the drivers ahead of him have a little bit of bad luck so that he can get closer to the lead in that open category.
Beasley, he just came out of the pit lane. For him, and revitalized for a good second stint, and if he pitted one lap later, he wouldn't have been involved in that incident. So just some bad luck.
Yeah, really just some bad luck there, as it looks like Mike Dam, Travis Schwenke, they will try and trick each other into going into the pit lane, but no one will bite so far here in this race as Steve Daniels into the pit lane. But Mike Dam trying to trick these other drivers into committing into the pit lane and getting stuck down there. But right now, no one is being too much of the gullible one.
It's hard to trick someone that you're going into pit lane at full throttle at 220 kilometers an hour. So it's such a tight pit lane entry at Zandvoort too. We've seen many incidents in the past at a racetrack like this, but the barrier is so close to the edges of the racetrack. Clint Vigas is into the pit lane. Shiflett entered just a lap ago. Joins him one lap later. That's going to be a tough fight between the two. And I guess this could be important here to make his way past teammate Tyler Shiflett.
Yeah, this could definitely be important if he wants to get by him by the undercut. So the undercut, we know how easy it is to make the undercut work sometimes, and also how difficult it can be. But let's keep an eye out. Tyler Shiflett now heading on to the front straightaway. Now Clint Vigas will just now be coming out of the pit lane, and he will not make it then on his teammate, I don't think. Actually, yes, he will. He will jump his teammate here in the pit lane.
Tough by Clint Vigas. And we talked about him needing to finish ahead of Shiflett for the championship. He needs it. Needs all these early points. Vigas finds himself on fresher rubber just by a touch and ahead of teammate Tyler Shiflett. Now they'll work together to reel in Kevin Ford and Eero Noam after they make their late pit stops. Let's look at the leaders in your MX-5 and whether or not Mike Dam here to the box and stop. No, they continue. I feel like it's an anti-climax every time we head through the final corner now. I'm just expecting them to dive in, and they don't.
Yeah, it really isn't. Eero Noam has not had the best of pace in this race. Let's just jump back to your leader here in your GS field. He's only 3 seconds ahead of Kevin Ford, so has possibly that injury that he's had really affected his pace as both of them now dive into the pit lane. They enter the very difficult Zandvoort pit lane, activate the pit limiters, and they get in and ready to go here for a pit stop. But has that injury that Eero Noam supposedly has affected his pace that much, or is he just kind of saving fuel and trying to have a little bit less to take on in this stop?
So left side tires for both cars. We're expecting them to take 4. Jumps up for either of the two. left side tires for both drivers. So there you go, Aeronom and Kevin Ford working together there. Oh, Aeronom's right behind the 31 of Cameron Martineau in his opening race of the season. And your effective leader, Martineau, by the time they get to turn 4, Martineau slots in behind, but now it's up to Kevin Ford that we ride on board with. Kevin Ford's going to have to dispose of Cameron Martineau soon enough.
Yeah, and it just depends on how quickly he can do that, because if he disposes of Cameron Martineau very quick, then he should really be able to close in to Aeronom. That would have cost Aero a lot of time then in that whole section. So if he can get by him quickly, then that can prove crucial here for Kevin Ford's chances of winning this race.
Yeah, this is a brilliant shot. Simulated winds there to the windshield and everything. As Kevin Ford's trying to maneuver his way past the driver of Cameron Martineau, which he does just like that. Now he's only 1 second behind Aeronom. This is a brilliant opportunity today for Kevin Ford to win this race over Aeronom.
It's definitely a great opportunity, as we're just over halfway through this race so far, and there has still already been an insane amount of action. So we should have an awesome second half coming up here soon.
Now we're going to bring you something new to Apex Racing TV. It's Apex Racing TV non-stop, side-by-side pictures as we bring you a quick short ad break, and we'll bring you all the coverage back again here, including pit stops for your leaders in your ST class. Don't leave us. You're watching Season 15, Round 2 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series.
Are you a fan of the Ricmotech Sports Car Series? Now is your chance to show off your favorite sim racing series by visiting our online store. With clothing and apparel for women and men in all sizes, merchandise and gift items like coffee mugs, laptop skins, mouse pads, and many more items to display your passion for sports car sim racing. Visit us today at ExtremeMotorsports99.com and click on the online store button. Thank you for watching and supporting the Ricmotech Sports Car Series.
So welcome back to live coverage for round 2, season 15 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Our race today presented by Performer Elite Texas Graphics. All coverage on Apex Racing TV. Tyler Maxon's alongside me, myself, Jonathan Simon in the commentary booth. And we see a nice little scrap here between Russ Ruddock and Chris Davis. Now heading into the first corner, they will dispose of each other quickly. We've had a lot of pit stops in the meantime though, but not for your leaders in the MX-5. Dam, Schwenke continue, Hartley continues as well. Rest of these drivers have entered the box for the first time this afternoon, but I actually should say your top 7 in the MX-5s haven't, but the rest of the leaders is what I'm trying to say right now have entered the box.
Yeah, and if you look here, look who has jumped his nearest rival. That is Elvis Rankin. So he is currently 3rd place right now overall once the pit stop phases get sorted out. And look at the drivers into the pit lane. Schwenke, Dam, and Hartley, List, and Thorman all into the pit lane here. Let's watch this pit party.
2 left side tires for all the drivers right now, and they're going to head out through the exit here of the pit lane in Zandvoort. Boy, I'd love to stay in that sunny side. It's very cold here virtually. And now Mike Dam, well, now he can get a tan here on the exit, and he can have a brilliant advantage over Travis Schwenke. Now only brilliant by half a second. Your leaders not changing here into the first corner. That's Aeronom. Leaders in both your classes now almost colliding.
Yeah, that was a little bit too close for comfort, I think, for both drivers there. I don't think either of them were expecting to get that close, but that's really hurt Mike Dam, as now Travis Schwenke is right up on his bumper again. He's very familiar with racing Schwenke. He raced him in the past, and he is racing him here today in Zandvoort. I think that this is really going to be the battle that we are going to see all season long. Dam, Schwenke, Hartley, I think, will be up in there, and Alessandrini. I think that those are going to be your drivers. I'm calling it right now. One of those four drivers will win this championship this season, and I think it's going to come down to the absolute wire.
I wish we had betting markets on the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Can bet on the highest positions gained. That goes to Robert Hartley. Who's going to win this race? Everybody's almost got equal odds.
I really agree with that one. I think that literally at this point, we may be 40 minutes into the race, but anything can still happen. Any drivers can still wreck. The best example of that I have is of Robert Hartley and having that unfortunate incident at Mid-Ohio and spinning out with 1 corner left to go. And that just shows you can never give up in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. You always have to be ready to pounce on another driver's mistakes, and you just don't want that driver to be you, the one making mistakes. You want to be the one making up the positions.
And that's important now for Schwenke, who started on pole and dropped back in a second now after Greg Mack and I can't even speak English, exits the pit lane. Is that Kevin Ford behind the 2? Kevin Ford's losing some time. 4 seconds the gap between Nom and Ford. So after the pit stops, Kevin Ford, now don't get confused on the overlay, the blue Kevin Ford, the yellow Ford, who's at the bottom of the Mustang standings, is Lucas Ford for Lucas Racing. So don't get confused with the standings, but Kevin Ford right now is, Aeronom's switched on, the NOS? Like Fast and the Furious? And he's,
I can't argue with that. It is unconfirmed yet whether Aaron have NOS back in that car, but in all seriousness, though, Aeronom is incredibly fast, and he's really showed his pace here. So I think he was doing a bit of fuel saving then in the first part of this race, and now he's just really letting it rip and not holding anything back here for the second half of this race. And he's really extended that gap quite quickly, actually.
It definitely has. Now, Rankin's 3rd overall. Now, you liked Elvis Rankin's chances of winning this race. I think those chances will be very slim unless Dam and Schwenke collide, right?
I think it's going to be very slim, and it's going to be very difficult considering he's 7 seconds back. But if he can get there, then he's got a nice chance at being able to to do that. So if he can have a little bit of luck with these two colliding or having some sort of issue, then I don't think that he has too bad of chances of being able to actually get there then in the end of this race and possibly having a chance to win it. But definitely long chances are over. But hopefully he is able to hold on to at least third place here, because that would be an absolutely incredible race for him to come home with a podium here in Zandvoort. But he has got a ultra fast Robert Hartley coming up very quick behind.
Rankin finished 10th last week, as Hartley now screams to the rear end of Elvis Rankin right now. It's in 14. I'm having a look at Elvis Rankin's results. I can't see for the moment. Am I looking at the wrong class? I'm trying to find Elvis Rankin's name. I've lost it. I had it just a moment ago. I don't know what's happening. I'll find it in a moment's time, ladies and gentlemen, in our stat sheets here. But for Elvis Rankin, no, I found him. Thankfully, I found him. He was 16th overall in the championship. Only 3 top 10s last season. So as Elvis Rankin, is he on like PEDs or something this race, or has he just found some good improvement over one round heading into Zandvoort?
I don't know, and that just shows how one round can change. But who knows? He could just be really good at these Zandvoort circuits. Obviously, he comes from the background in real life. He drives the Legends cars on some road courses, so this probably would suit what he does very, very closely. You're on very tight and twisty courses in what he does in real life with a lot of power. And in these MX-5s, probably makes it a little bit easier for him. So it's hard to tell. It may just be one thing that he's just used to more than something than these long, twisty circuits like Laguna Seca.
On screen, what do you think of Hartley's race? I want to know if he pops up for post-race interviews. It'd be interesting to know what happened during qualifying. I'd also like to know what happened to John Allen. John Allen, if you are watching this race, is John Allen out there on the racetrack? I think he is.
No, he's not.
So if John Allen's watching this race, I'd love to know. On board for a live in-race interview, John Allen, and just find out what's happened to him. He was unable to take the rolling start for round 2 at Zandvoort, and I've had races in the past, Tyler, where you test for 2 weeks straight. Technical issue like that. The worst of all is when you're going for a championship. I remember 3 laps to go. I was going for a top 3 place in a very important championship. Prize money on offer. We go to Albert Park, Australia, turn 1. Front left wheel clip. Race over, turn 1. Damage. Thinking it's 4 a.m. in the morning, because every race is on that ridiculous time for Australians. 2 weeks of my life practicing, and my race was over in 15 seconds. It is the most heart-sinking feeling, I think, in motor racing.
I would have to agree with you on that one. And I've had all the same things happen to me in the past, and especially whenever you prepare for weeks on end for endurance racing, and then for it all to be possibly over in a flash, just in the first corner. It's so heartbreaking, and the worst is whenever it happens towards the end of the race, but it's also just as bad whenever it happens right there at the beginning, right whenever you were thinking you've still got 24 hours left, and you really have a chance at winning the race, and then it's all over, and you're suddenly dead last before you've even really got your race going. So I can tell you, it's so frustrating whenever you do all that, and then for it all to be taken away from you in such short amount of time.
And Schwenke back in the lead now, and Mike Dam.
So Travis Schwenke's gone back up in the lead. Let's try and get a replay of that one. I'll try and cue that up here really quick. And there we go. I have a replay here. Let's see what happened, how Travis Schwenke got by Mike Dam.
Yep, sorry, Tyler. Talk us through it. This is last lap round. Schwenke up the inside.
Schwenke down the inside here in turn 1. And I think that this is going to pretty much be just a very straightforward overtake here for Travis Schwenke. He gets it done down into turn number 1. Nice job there from Travis Schwenke. Now he's got to defend from the ever-quick Mike Dam, which we know is not the easiest thing to do.
And that was a Frito Sport racing car there on the outside. I think that was Edgar Sanchinelli, who was thankfully out of the way of the lead too. He's now behind this bunch. Lapped, of course, in this race. We're watching Rankin versus Hartley. Little King Racing versus Excite Racing. They'll head through the middle sector here at Zandvoort. turn 8, the right-hander. Downhill, cambered. Very fun corner is turn 8. Very narrow, though, through the exit, and now through Marlboro turn 9. I think what used to be known as Marlboro, I'm not sure if it still is. I have to confirm that. My Zandvoort knowledge search, but need our Dutch compatriots to comment in the YouTube chat if that's still allowed to be called Marlboro due to the tobacco sponsorship rights and everything.
Actually, I believe you are correct. At least the track map that I have from Wikipedia, it says that is correct. So I believe that you have your corner names absolutely perfect.
It's Wikipedia. I think the other day I went to Suzuka Wikipedia and tried to edit Kobayashi corner. So, I mean, you can do anything on Wikipedia these days.
Yeah, you definitely can. But I do believe that this is a pretty accurate track map. I'll try to get another one just to confirm. But I do believe that you are correct. Ooh! Elvis Rankin runs wide, and that's going to let Robert Hartley have the position clean and easy. Rankin kind of cracked under pressure there from Robert Hartley. He knows how quick Hartley is, and pushed a little bit too hard and gave him just a little bit too easy of an overtake, but I don't think he's going to make it easy on him down into turn number 1. He is going to try to hang around the outside, but will concede the position and follow back into line. Now he will get now 4th, but he will still stay up in the lead of the overall of the Open Championship.
High around the outside, but now they form up, and Hartley is ahead. Here, Rankin still leads your open class, but for the overall lead, Hartley is on the podium. It would be a thrilling result for Elvis Rankin, a career best. Whether he finishes 3rd or 4th, but he'd want that podium. You never know how many opportunities you may get in your career in sim racing to be on Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series. So with 10 minutes to go, Aeronom leads your Mustang class by 6 to 7 seconds ahead of Kevin Ford. There's the European on screen. Aeronom has driven splendidly since the pit stops. He was only separated by a second after the pit phase, but now has extruded that gap to 7.5 seconds. For your MX-5s, it's Travis Schwenke in the first position, reclaiming that lead only a few laps to go ahead of Mike Dam. Those two started on the front row in those positions respectively. Hartley started at the back of the pack and is on a recovery drive here for a podium position. Now to win, unlikely for Robert Hartley. In the world of motorsport,
you definitely never know. And actually, let's get a lap on board here with Mike Dam. We had our track guide in the GS Mustang. Let's get a ride lap here on board with Mike Dam.
with Mike Dam. Now, he got very close there through the first sector, didn't he? And look, he's trying every trick in the book here to claim a slipstream off that 38 of Jeff Jacobs, who's in the top 5 in your GS class. But for Mike Dam, I'm not really sure how many passing opportunities he has here at the Circuit Park Zandvoort for overtaking. But the MX-5s, I mean, you spoke about it early on off air in this broadcast, Tyler. MX-5s, you can pass anywhere around the world, basically. Even the Monaco hairpin if we had it on iRacing, I reckon.
Yeah, I think that in the MX-5s, you can make a pass work pretty much anywhere, whether that be 2 wheels in the grass or in the Monaco hairpin case. If we had it on iRacing, you know there would be people that would be all the way up in over the barriers to make a move. And that's one of the greatest things about the MX-5 is that you really can just send one down the inside and make a move pretty much anywhere. So Mike Dam, while he doesn't have a lot of great passing opportunities on the circuit, definitely has some that he is able to do. Any hard braking zone especially is a nice passing opportunity. One that really sticks out for me is this corner right here. Just drive it straight in to the corner and try and get up ahead of your rival before they get to the apex of the corner, because once you claim the apex, it is pretty much very difficult to go around the outside here, except for maybe turn 1. As you can see, the lap traffic getting out of the way and being very courteous to your front 2 here as they continue to battle for the overall race win.
List is out of the race here with less than 10 minutes to go. He entered the pit lane and did not continue as far as I know. So Jim List, unfortunately, joins our list of retirements. Guzva, Lewis Loper, Mitchell Peak, John Allen was a DNS, actually, so technically he's not on that list. Here's what happened to Jim List.
And I'm not too sure if this is exactly what happened, but I do believe that this is one of the causing factors here. Wow, gets a very, very loose here, so you can see he is really not having the greatest day for him there, but super unfortunate for him. And hopefully we'll be able to bounce back stronger next time out. We will have a week off of the Ricmotech SportsCar Series, where we'll go back to the GT Challenge Series, featuring the GT Le Mans and GT Daytona class next week at the same starting time, I believe. And we will go back to another beautiful night of racing for another 75-minute event. So that should be another great race in that championship, where we see a lot of drivers competing in that championship, and there's battles all the way through the race for the entire 75 minutes. So it should be another awesome broadcast to come and watch. Make sure you tune in for that one. And then we will be back here at Barber Motorsports Park for the Ricmotech SportsCar Series in 2 weeks' time. So great racing coming up in the Ricmotech family.
All the races here will be live on Apex Racing TV. Broadcast will begin about 15 past 8 in the United States of America. 12:15 a.m. GMT. So if you're European time zones for Aeronom, it's the early hours of the morning. This is incredible that he's racing so well here on a Monday night. Now Tuesday morning, a few Canadians racing. Another few nationalities racing, of course, as well. I'm a little disappointed my Aussies aren't represented well in this series. Of course, it is during the working day right now, which means, Tyler, real job, a real 9-to-5 job. Otherwise, the job I'm working now doesn't require me to be up from 9 to 5. Here's Mike Dam for the lead.
Mike Dam down the inside, and I think he's going to be able to get the move done. It's super difficult to hang it around the outside here. And if you do, then they're driving the inside a lot of times, just run you straight out of room. But Mike Dam is very nice to Travis Schwenke, gives him a lot of room to race there, and Schwenke will hold it around the outside, and Mike Dam will send it down even farther into the corner, and he will get the move done. That is a different line than I've seen any driver take tonight, but he made it work beautifully.
To perfection did Mike Dam. Into the lead at an off-camber part of the racetrack there around the outside. It's so easy, and we've seen many a car drift off into the barrier there, trying to make a move around the outside of turn 4 here at Zandvoort, the tight left-hander, but now these two keep slicing and dicing for the lead. Still a few laps remaining here. Zandvoort, it is around the 1 minute 50 laps, so we should be able to squeeze in a couple more laps this time round, Tyler. And let's see if Schwenke can reclaim that first position. He will so sorely miss already after half a lap.
Exactly. Let's check out where Aeronam is. He is now fine. This will be 2 laps to go here for Aeronam. From what I do believe, he will not be able to take the white flag that time by. But it will be.
Down, Tyler. Who knows? I would slow down if he's bad on fuel, if he's not going to make it on fuel. But I think he's going to cross the line here with about a few seconds to go. So Tyler is right. There will be 2 laps to go unless Aeronom potentially decides to end this race early. He's creeping in ever so close.
And I don't think I've ever seen Aeronam. As look at Travis Schwenke looking for the lead here. But back to what I was saying, though, I don't think I've ever seen Aeronam ever cut a race short. So I wouldn't be surprised if he tries and holds this one out as long as possible and does continue on for another lap. So I believe that was 2 laps to go now for your ST cars as well as they work their way through. And then here is the very banked corner here. This is the most banking that I think that we have on the entire racetrack. And then you head up the hill again to another very fast technical section. So this is such a great track to race at. There is really every type of corner that you have on offer here. Track corners with camber in them, corners that have some banking, and corners that are off camber. So you've really got pretty much everything to challenge yourself with, and there's nothing that you cannot be good at here if you want to win.
Oh, issues for Clint Vigas. Vigas is down into the 5th position. Oh, he's had a spin here on the final penultimate lap of the race. Yes. Oh, goodness. Oh, he's lost it all on his own. Position, Clint Vigas. He's been driving so well after the pit stops. He's going to have to trundle home. Aeronom crosses the line. White flag waves. And you'll have 1 lap remaining here to take the win. Let's hope Aeronom keeps it together. Otherwise, Kevin Ford could find himself winning this race. But for these two, it's going to have to be earned out there on the racetrack. Schwenke needs to remain close here to Mike Dam on the main stretch. He's gained 2 tenths through the Audi S alone. And now through turns 14 and 15 here at Zandvoort. Schwenke needs a mammoth run to make a pass for the win.
Schwenke really needs a good run here. White flag out this time by for Mike Dam. Travis Schwenke, is he going to look for a move now down into turn number 1? He will look to the side of Mike Dam. Travis Schwenke and Mike Dam side by side into turn 1.
Holds it. He's done that many a time this race. And now the two are still alongside each other on the run down to turn 4. Schwenke will potentially have to form up. He's going to have to do something bold here in the closing stages to take this lead away from the Canadian.
So Travis Schwenke really going to have to try something if he wants to take the move away from Mike Dam. Is he going to send one down the patient and try a little bit of a safer move? He's going to try the outside here. That's not going to work. He may look to the inside then. He is going to slot in line right now. So Travis Schwenke looking for every possible move that he has. He wants a race win this season.
Whilst we watch this, is about to cross the line shortly to take victory here for round 2, season 15 for the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Victor again, 2 from 2 to begin the year. Checkered flag waves, and he'll be remembering this one for a while. Who knows if he is officially injured or not. There is Clint Vigas, the stricken Mustang, just trundling his way home here in the closing laps. Now they head towards the Audi S. And Schwenke, I mean, this is going to have to be a drag race to the line, surely.
Unless Schwenke tries to send one down the inside here. I don't think that he's going to. It is going to be a drag race to the line, like you said. So who will get it then? Here to the line, it's going to be a drag race. Will it be Mike Dam or will it be Travis Schwenke? As they round outside of the final corner, Travis Schwenke and Mike Dam side by side on the chopper cam, and it will be Mike Dam who will win this race. Mike Dam claims victory in ST.
It's me, what a finish there. It was a drag race to the line between Mike Dam and Travis Schwenke, but too little too late. The gap at the end of the day, I'm trying to look for it. that too, and it's unofficial at the moment, but it was less than a tenth of a second separated between the two drivers. Oh, what a finish there, Tyler.
That was an incredible finish for those drivers. Elvis Rankin ends up getting the win in the open category for your ST field, and it will be Cameron Matanu who will get the win in your GS Open field. So great wins from the drivers all the way through the field. As we wait on the results to be finalized here tonight, we will get your post-race championship points up on your screen and your race results up.
We're out of breath again. Another thrilling round in your MX-5 class. The Mustang was sealed pretty much after the pit stops. But unfortunately for Clint Vigas, he made his way home in 5th, which is good for him, but he could have been in 3rd after that late spin. But let's take a look at your final race results for round 2.
And we're just waiting on Bobby Childs to finish up before we can get these races up. He's having some issues here getting back to the pit lane. I think that he has got a stricken engine in that car. It doesn't sound to me like that car is really liking moving right now. So we're just going to wait on him to finish up. Then we will go ahead and get your final race results up here for the night.
Well, unfortunate for Bobby Childs. He finishes now behind the likes of Beasley and company, but what a race by Aeronom here, Tyler. We haven't spoken about him too much today, but another race victory for him. And he's got, well, you could say he's championship favorite for sure. But Kevin Ford actually kept him really honest this race as the final race results are on screen. So now Nom Ford ended up 1st and 2nd. It seemed a lot closer. Kevin Ford had a real good opportunity to take race win today, but he didn't. Shiflett ended up on the podium after his teammate Clint Vigas had a late spin that demoted him down to 5th. Jeff Jacobs also capitalized on that for street survival. Jeff Jacobs only 0.4 of a second behind Shiflett there for the final podium position. Cameron Martineau in his first race ended up in 9th ahead of Derek Holland and Lucas Ford. He was right behind Russ Ruddock Vader. Travis Davis ended up in 6th at the end of the day, and those were your 11 drivers for your Mustang class. Let's look at your MX-5 order now for your STs. Mike Dam with a drag race to the line, and the Canadian for Crypto G Orange Racing took victory over Travis Schwenke. Hartley, after starting from last, ended up on the podium. He'll be thrilled with that one, although he had the pace to win this race for sure. And let's see next race whether or not he continues that brilliant form with the MX-5. Elvis Rankin with his career best result in the 4th position wins the open class though, and he'll be remembering this one for quite some time. And then we have 3 D2D esports drivers of Peyton, Violet, and Chris Thorman, who ended up in the 5th, 6th, and 7th positions respectively, with Geordie Fike right behind for Asprey Motorsports. And a quiet race, ended up 2nd in the open class with Jacob Beasley after being involved in the incident between a couple of Mustangs. It was unfortunate for him. Wrong place, wrong time. And the Bees Knees racing driver with blue rims this season ends up down the order. Childs there, just having to pretty much retire that car on the final lap. He's still classified though, and you could see some other notable names on screen down the order with a heap of DNFs for this one, including Lewis Loper and Mitchell Peak, who collided together in the opening laps. For John Allen, not start, and that is a very bad event when you even are classified behind the 999 car of the race marshal, who's obviously not racing today. That's just our race marshal spectating the event. But Tyler, it is time to head interviews, and we have your victor again in Eero Nom, who, Eero, is this a rumor or not? We heard that you may have potentially before the race, yet you're able to claim another race victory. Can you confirm if that's true? And if it is, well, I hope you're feeling all right.
Ask again. I didn't hear it.
We heard you broke one of your fingers before the race, and we thought, you know, is he going to be able to race? Is he okay? But we're not sure if that was a rumor or if that's actually true.
It's true. It was hurting really bad. I got caught in the wheel, so it snapped back.
Happened during practice for this race, or did it happen another day, or did it happen earlier on in the day? When did this actually happen?
In the practice here.
that after an accident or something?
No, just I lost car in the corner, so the wheel went back, and my pinky finger somehow got caught in.
Goodness. Are you running 100% force feedback or something? What's going on?
No, it's the club squad wheel. It's not strong.
But nevertheless, let's speak about your race now. It was a brilliant one for you. Now, were you just saving your tires or saving your pace before the pit stops? Because Kevin Ford was very close to you up until the pit phase. And then once you both boxed, you ended up stretching out an 11-second advantage over him in only half a race.
Yeah, I was taking really easy. I was concentrating getting no off tracks. Sadly, there was one MX5 braking in the very fast corner in the middle of the track, and I had to go off track. But before the pit stop, I was taking easy, trying to build the gap. But just before the pit stop, there was some traffic, and Kevin was very close, and he had the fastest pit stop. But yeah.
And finally, who gets it done for you for Team Bushfink and the rest of the crew?
First, I want to say that Kevin was very fast in the race, so he's been practicing really hard. In the race he is almost as fast as me. Only the quali is different. But I'd like to thank all the sponsors and the league admins and you guys in the booth.
I appreciate it. That's Aeronom with 2 race wins to begin the season here, 2 from 2. And Tyler, you can't get any more perfect than that. But somebody, Tyler, who's going to try to beat him is Kevin Ford. You're stood alongside him.
Yeah, Kevin, what a race from you. You really had the pace there in the beginning portion of the race until the pit stop phases. What happened after the pit stop phases which caused you to lose out so much pace?
I think the pace was okay for a short period of time. Traffic didn't work out quite as I would have hoped, towards the end there. But I don't know that I could have hung with them anyway. I was giving it everything I had. It was great that I was able to hang with them there at the first half of the race, but we were stretching out every lap for all we could get out of it and trying to keep it safe, obviously. We went after that bonus point and got that tonight. We only had one incident off track, so that helped. But, it was a great race, really clean race. The sun came out unexpectedly and really cranked up the track temperature, so things got a little bit slick there in that second run.
Yeah, well, you did an absolutely awesome job nonetheless. Come home with another second finish for you. And that still sets you in second place for what I believe in the championship. So still looking good in that aspect. And really, if you can start having some issues, if Aeronam actually starts having a bit of issues and you finish ahead of him in a few races, you never know. You maybe are right up in there come the end of the championship because really anything can happen. And we've seen that here in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. To try to position yourself in these championships is the biggest thing to do. If you're struggling with pace, just need to stay consistent and try to get the best optimal finishes possible because you never know what can happen throughout the season. Traffic can cause an issue. You just never know. It just takes 1 or 2 races to create a hiccup in the points, and we're hoping to be there when that happens, if it happens.
Well, you've definitely got the consistency portion under control, and I think that from what we've seen so far, you should be just fine come the end of the championship
well,
so far. So should be a good end to the championship for you.
well, thank you, Tyler. We appreciate it.
And lastly, from me, is there anyone you would like to thank and who gets it done for you over in the Ricmotech Motorsports team?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. First off, I want to thank all the staff at Extreme Motorsports. Jeff Jacobs first. He just goes out of his way to do anything that we need done for the series. He's been such a great asset to the group over the years. He's been with us since day one, and he's my compadre there to the side. And of course, all the rest of the staff, all the guys, Russ Ruddock for all his hard work on our software development in the background. A lot of our graphics work done by Bobby Childs. Appreciate all his help. And of course, all the drivers. They put on such a great show out here week in and week out. It makes it exciting to watch, great for the viewers, and of course, the just stellar broadcast that you guys bring to us each week. We do appreciate that as well. Thanks so much, guys.
Well, thank you, Kevin, and congratulations on another second place finish from you here from Zandvoort.
Thank you so much. Take care, guys. We'll see you next 2 weeks. We'll see you back at Barber Motorsports Park for round 3.
All right, thank you, Kevin. See you then. And Jonathan, who do you fancy taking in now?
I'm going to do something I never thought I would do, but we're going to grab both our competitors here at the same time of Mike Dam and Travis Schwenke. Obviously, Mike Dam, victor at the end of the day, but goodness, guys, I don't know. Mike, can you go first? That was a between you two. You almost lost it, though, at the end with that great run by Travis in the closing laps.
Yeah, I mean, we were there was nothing between us that race. I mean, that was pretty darn tight. There were definitely sections of the track where I think I was better, and then other sections where Travis was definitely better. But yeah, at the end, I definitely wasn't strong at the end of the lap, and that was kind of worrisome for me. So yeah, it was really close racing that.
Can I also add here? Can we bring in Travis now? Travis, Mike, at the final corner, and gonna have enough room to even get a car length on him or something like that. You almost won the race there. I think the finish line was about 10 meters further down the road. You would have won that one.
Yeah, it was definitely close. I thought I had it timed just right, and my biggest question was he going to go inside or outside, right? Was he going to go ahead and pinch it and take that inside from me or not? And he went ahead and unwound the wheel and went, and I just kind of dove in and was hoping. So I tried to practice it earlier, and I think he didn't get as good a run off the corner. He definitely got a good run that time through the first part of that. So it was just made it really close.
It's that, Mike, that when you guys were in a battle with each other, that you like you didn't seem to defend your line. You just allowed Travis to sort of take the inside. Is that sort of something you focused on? Was there a reason you started to approach it that way?
Yeah, it's just a certain point where, like the first corner there, it's hard. I mean, you almost don't know if you want to be on the inside or the outside, and it seemed like you could get a good run on the outside of that first corner, and you could actually hold it. So I don't know. I was kind of playing with it. I didn't really know where I wanted to be honest.
And Travis, you qualified a lot better this round. Finally, you had compared to Laguna Seca, you can see the difference a good qualifying performance makes from yourself, and you ended up almost taking race victory.
Yeah. Laguna is not a great track for me, so I pretty much have to rely on draft. And I had a decent qual there, but that whole accident, almost spin in the first lap, put me back, and then it took me a while to get back by people, and at that point everyone was gone. So this track I have enough laps at, and it's I really do like this track as well. I like that whole back section, the flat kind of slidey corners. It's really fun to kind of, in this car you can actually kind of power slide out of those corners, which you can't do all the time, and it's a great section of corners back there. And I guess I like it better than Laguna, so definitely was willing to push a little harder.
Dan, we'll let you go first. Who gets it done for you at the Crypto G Orange Racing team?
Yeah, just all the drivers, all the guys I race with. It's just awesome fun. Kevin Ford, Jeff Jacobs, all the guys that put it together. It's a really good time out there, and it's an awesome series. So good.
And Travis, for yourself, do you have any reason why Robert Hartley started from the back of the grid?
He couldn't get away from his son's football practice soon enough, so we also thought about sabotaging him, telling him it wasn't going to start yet. So, but yeah, he made it in, and then had to reboot. His wheel wasn't recognized when he first got in, so he couldn't get a qual lap in. And as you can tell, Rob is really good here. So other places where he's not good at, I don't think so. But this is a place where he definitely is good their whole lap. 5 laps in, worn tires, he's really great here. So good to see him make it all the way back up from that bad start.
Fun for you for Excite Racing or Asprey Motorsports.
Yeah, give a shout out to them for sure. Yep.
Else you like to thank? Not Robert Hartley's son's football coach.
Yeah. Thank the league, thank Ricmotech for putting this on. Also thank BSI Racing down in Florida for them helping me out, and looking forward to a good season.
Awesome. So that's Mike Dam and Travis Schwenke. I thought I'd try something new there, get you both in at the same time after that thrilling finish. Tyler, separated by only 100th of a second, those two at the finish line. That was an insane one, and one of a finish to be remembered in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series.
Yeah, definitely a finish that we will remember for quite a while here. And we actually have championship standings up right now here. This is your post-race championship standings for your for your ST Pro, and this is how they stack up right now. So Robert Hartley, 5 points right now ahead of Mike Dam. Travis Schwanke moves up 5 points, 5 positions in the championship, goes up to 55 points, with Eric Violet moving up another 2, and he is now up to 51. John Allen losing 2 positions after making this now his drop round, and he is at 48 points right now. Jacob Beasley is 6th, and that is your top 6 in ST. Let's check out GS Pro standings here, and Aero Nam, unsurprisingly, still leading the championship by just 7 points over Kevin Ford. Keep in mind, this is before bonus points. Tyler Shiflett is down there in 3rd, Clint Vigas in 4th, and Jeff Jacobs in 5th. They are actually tied for points right now. Clint Vigas and Jeff Jacobs are. So great to see how close the GS Pro standings are. And then here is your ST Open standings.
These are the open standings. Elvis Rankin, a brilliant performance there, now promotes himself, remains in the championship lead, but for Lyndon McMurphy, up 2 spots after a brilliant performance here at Zandvoort.
Yeah, up a awesome performance here, and then at GS Open, and we'll check that out. Sadly, only a 6-car field, but Derek Holland moved himself up 1 position to go up to 54 points, with Lucas Ford moving himself up another position as well, up into 2nd place at 50 points. Then it is Cameron Martineau and Jez Coleman with Robert Brist and Michael Hilliard. That's going to be your entire GS Open standings. And that is it right now for our coverage of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series live from Zandvoort. And is there any final thoughts you have?
I don't know. I enjoyed that one for Zandvoort with a thrilling finish to the line. I think we're starting to see that your Mustang class is a little bit unchallenged with Aeronom at the top, but I really was promised by Kevin Ford's. I should say, well, let me rephrase that better. I was very impressed by Kevin Ford's promising pace, is a better way to put it. He was a lot quicker than he was at Laguna this time round. And for Aeronom, we'll see if he can be pushed further by the likes of Shiflett, Jacobs, or even Clint Vigas behind. But nevertheless, though, you're correct, Tyler. That is it for our coverage today. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time for the Sports Car Series. Next week, it will be GT action for the Ricmotech GT Challenge. Now, don't miss all the action there. It will be live at the same time here on Apex Racing TV. But round 3 of the Sports Car Series in a fortnight's time will be at Barber Motorsports Park. It will be another 60-minute event for our 9-round championship. Of course, Aeronom currently leads the championship in your Mustangs, but will he be challenged in a couple of weeks' time? That's the question here. From myself, Jonathan Simon, from Tyler Maxon alongside me, and our entire Apex Racing TV crew, we hope you enjoyed this Apex Racing TV presentation here of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series. What an event it was at Zandvoort. We'll see you at Barber in a couple of weeks' time.